So if you're wondering why the movie's called Genisys, it turns out if you update your phone from iOS 6 to Genisys, you are basically agreeing to do two things. One, that you can sync up your car, your tablets, your computer, your iPhones, your music, and everything will be so much more convenient. The trade-off is that you just clicked yes to terms and agreements to give Skynet complete control, which will make them drop all the nukes on you and you will die. Yes, this movie is pointing a finger at you saying, how dare you be convenient with your technology, now you're going to pay the price. And it's going to be very top heavy about it. Welcome to Burns Reviews. So I got this poster at Cinemark. They were free. I like Cinemark. It's a lot cheaper than AMC and some other places. They're a lot more chill. They don't give you crap about like maybe bringing food in or if you walk into a different theater, which I never do. So by all means, if you have a Cinemark by you, check that out because I kind of dig it. So Terminator Genisys, the best way I could put it is that basically we've done an X-Men Days of Future Past where we have wiped out the entire franchise and we have started from scratch and we just forget the old movies because they never happened. T2, your favorite movie, never happened. And I can understand why they did it because T3, Rise of the Machines, and Salvation were god-awful, and they wanted to start the slate clean now that Arnold Schwarzenegger can now be in these movies. He's not the Governor anymore. He can actually be in these movies as an old man, even though there are scenes where he is pretending to be, you know, a Terminator with arthritis, and it's just like, old. Not obsolete. So basically Kyle Reese goes back in time again, only this time it's by Courtney, who can't act to save his life, and he is going to try to save his future mate, because they have to mate. Only this time he comes to find that Sarah Connor is not a weak and helpless little waitress. She's now the badass that we know in T2, you know, a soldier who's ready to fight, much like Linda Hamilton, and she's played by Emilia Clarke, who you may know as Mother of Dragons from this show, of course. And Courtney, oh god, Courtney. Let's not talk about Courtney. He is the weakest link in this movie. But basically, goes back in time, we find out there's more Terminators have been sent back, and of course the objective, once again, is to stop Judgment Day. Now, the big problem I have with this movie it's not the problem I have in this movie, the problem I have is that they show it in the trailer, and that's John Connor being the bad guy. Because we have to do a fresh twist on it, and what I don't understand is that in the trailer, the first trailer, they made a very big point of not showing this. And then every TV spot, I can't get away from it. It's even in the new poster. You know, him being this like, he looks like the little mini-bots from Big Hero 6. You know, with the little device he had with the, yeah. Anyway, he's now the villain because the DNA has been altered by Doctor Who plays Skynet. You know, I don't think it's a spoiler. And now they have to stop him and the other Terminators, or it's going to be Judgment Day. And basically, the plot is pretty thin. You know, we come to find that there's multiple timelines, and yeah, a lot of things are not going to make sense. But seriously, I mean, it's Terminator 5. Does it really have to? If I had to rank them, Terminator 2, Terminator 1, this movie. Seriously, this movie is the third best movie. And it's not the best, and it's not the worst, and for everything that I can say that's good about it, I can equally say, what were they thinking? So, it was an even wash. I walked out of this movie going, I didn't love it, I didn't hate it. I thought it was a lot better than 33%. I'd probably give it like maybe like a 68 to 72 range. It's not a great film, but it's not a terrible film. It's smack right in the middle. Courtney, terrible. Cannot even compete with the original Kyle Reese. The original Kyle Reese was intense, and he had the PTSD, and he was off the chain, and you were like, he's a little nuts. But I think he's alright. In this one, he's just like, well, what do you mean? Oh, well, what do you mean we can't do this? We have to do this. Oh, Sarah, you have to listen to me. Oh, feel my hand. Oh. And you're just, I hate Courtney so much. so much. Emilia Clarke I thought was great. She's not as hardcore as Linda Hamilton, but considering, I thought she was pretty good. Jason Clarke, who plays John Connor, I gotta admit, after a while, I got tired of seeing him. I wasn't sure if I liked you in Dawn of Planet of the Apes, but I'm pretty sure I don't like you as an actor now. Also, J.K. Simmons is in the flick, and I thought for sure that he was a psychiatrist from T1 and T2 because of the way he hangs his like glasses on his mouth, and he's kind of got that frantic, you know, way about him. He's got the coat with the sleeves, and I'm like, that's the guy, right? Because they recasted everybody. I'm like, that's the guy from the... Turns out he's just the cop in a different parallel, earlier universe timeline who looks nothing like the younger rendition of him, even though Arnold has CGI younger versions of him. You never would have known that J.K. Simmons' character has a younger version earlier in the movie that we briefly see for like 1 minute, but it actually is that guy. And also, I bet you didn't know this, that Miles Dyson and Danny Dyson, who you probably know from T2 as the guy who, you know, dropped the bomb and blew everybody up, and his son, are in this movie. And they're actually in a spot, and you're like, who is that? And you don't think much of it. You just, oh, this guy is an employee. Turns out that that guy is that guy, and that guy is that guy. But you never would have known it because it's kind of glossed over and they never really say it. So all in all, did I like this movie? Yeah, I liked it. Did I love it? No. Did I hate it? No. I walked out kind of feeling, meh. And for that reason alone, I give Terminator Genisys a C. It is not bad. I enjoyed it. There were a couple moments when they had the action scenes which were not overly memorable, but I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool. I mean, he kind of like blew that up and he kind of stabbed that guy and he shot the... Alright. It's just, it wasn't anything noteworthy. What did you think of it? There is a scene about 2 minutes into the credits, so don't leave too quickly. I don't think it was a great scene. It kind of made me like roll my eyes in the same way I rolled my eyes at the end of, what was it, Wolverine Origins? Yeah, if you saw that movie and you saw this movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was kind of like, oh, setting up the sequel. It's kind of lame. There are tons of plot holes in this movie, but you know what? It is a Terminator movie. I would recommend it maybe just seeing it one time on the big screen just because visually it is an action movie. So on a smaller screen, it's going to feel even smaller. So let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below, and as always, thank you so much for watching, because you just got burned.